Be the change. Be the change, because you got to do something while you're here on planet Earth, and you might as well do that. And why would you might as well be the change? Well, because if you're going to be the change from what we are currently seeing around us, you have to add something good to it. And so if you add something good to it, now you're on a roll of appreciation and gratitude and working on inner self so that you can maximize and enhance every aspect of your life. I know this because I've done it. Those are the results that you get from doing the inner work. However, today, on this very day, this very point in time, I will say I thank you for everything. And I mean everything. All the trauma, all the betrayal, all the lessons, all the years of loneliness, all the years of pain, all the years of healing. Thanks for everything. I have no complaints whatsoever. Until you can be grateful for everything in your life, there's wounds to heal. If you cannot be grateful for everything in your life, there are certain things where I really feel the sadness, I really feel the loss, and I can go back in there and I can allow myself to feel these things so they don't have to come popping back up on random places in my life and affect the outcome. So, Great Spirit, Father God, source of all things, higher power, presence, presence, boom, and everything becomes so peaceful and quiet and joyful and beautiful and serene and presence. Creativity, speak it. Blue, the color blue, speak it. Talk about it. Say it. Express it. Perhaps you can create it. If you don't want to talk about it, maybe you can create something where you can still say it. Imagination, expression, originality, and passion. I think every single one of us have like certain things that we're better at expressing and saying and talking about. This is about with the throat chakra, if you have issues with the throat chakra, and if you need to open up more in the throat chakra, which I know for me, I need to do that. I don't know about you, but these are some checkpoints that you can check in with, like, okay, yeah, maybe I need to look at it too, or maybe, okay, I'm good on those things. So let's see. So the things that come up with the throat chakra is going to be issues. Issues include difficulty expressing emotions, shyness, hidden creative blocks. It can be in your ears, in your hearing, tinnitus, and in your breathing. So, speaking our mind, so difficult, especially when it leaves you vulnerable, especially if it leaves you open for disappointment. When you say what's on your heart, you say what's on your mind, and then you leave it out there, and then it's up to someone else to take it or leave it. I say speak it anyway. Practice speaking it anyway. All right, so let's see. Personal. You, mind, body, and soul. You, mind, body, and soul. You, mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, soul. Okay, so the Queen of Cups. Okay, mind, Hangman. Hanging on to the old ideas. I don't want to change. Nope, I know I got this. I know I always believed it was this way, so I'm always going to continue believing it this way. It always was just like that, so I'm just always going to keep it like that. No, that is not for me. Nope, that is not for me. No, I am good the way I am. I don't need to change anything. I'm good, and I am going to stay stuck right here. So mind, in your mind, you can change everything. You can change how you think about everything. you can change how you, what you can accept about everything. You can change your mind patterns. If you take the time out, spend some time with it, maybe you create some affirmations that will say, I am open to new experiences. I am open to seeing things in a new way. I am open to allowing new perspectives to come into my world so that I can see my world from a different perspective and maybe appreciate it in a different way. Because I know that when I do the rampage of appreciation, I'm opening up so that the universe can deliver things for me to be appreciative of. And our mind, the most complicated, freaking destructive tool that we have as human beings. Also good, yes, we can create a lot of beautiful things. We can be creative with it. We can express ourselves. We can put originality in there. We can put passion in there. We can put our imagination together and create beautiful things. We can also do the same things and create some awful things. And we do that sometimes, humans. So from our perspective, what can you do from the one person in 5 billion? Like, what can one person in 5 billion do? Well, the only thing you can do is you can change. So the things that you can control is your decisions and your actions. So you can choose what to decide, and you can choose how to act. And so what to decide? The Hangman is a great card because it's like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. Oh, really? Wow, I have never thought about it like that. And the weird thing is that for a lot of us humans, like the one thing that we never think about, that we can think about, is our thinking. And so we don't know that it's a possibility to turn it off a little bit. They don't teach you it in school. They don't teach you in education. They don't teach you to just quiet the mind, turn it off for a little bit, and just be for a moment. You can do that. It takes practice. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be in. And it brings everything into a shifted perspective. And so to deal with the thinking mind, to change your perspective in your mind, to deal with your thinking mind, I would say the best thing you can do for your thinking mind is to read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Listen to it rather on YouTube. Like, listen to it on YouTube when he is reading it. Like, find the book when he's reading it, because now you get to spend time in the company of someone who is already enlightened, who is already present. And it makes a huge shift in your mind. But if you don't want to change your mind, then you won't change your mind. So that's your choice. You can choose that. You can choose to stay the same way that you are right now. And then that's who you are for the rest of your life, because you choose to stay that way. You can also choose to be like, let me be a little bit more curious and see what else is out there. And I can always go back to this if I don't like what I find out there. So there's this sense of adventure. Perhaps you want to be a little bit more adventurous and take charge of this beautiful little space right up on top of our body that creates so much havoc. Our bodies. Our bodies. You're going to live in that body for the duration of your life. I'm going to say the health departments and the health directories and the health guidance and advice that we get from, the big whatever, is not really all that good. Like, if you look around and you look at the cases of obesity, you look at the cases of diabetes, you look at the cases of just humans just falling apart on medications and side effects and more medications for the side effects, and then you have some side effects for the medication that you gave to the side effects. So there you have the wheel, the hamster wheel, that our health is like, and it's not about the health, it's about the money that is being made of it as we be thrown into the hamster wheel. And again, maybe nobody taught you that you cannot really trust the guidance. Oh, really? Well, that took me years from my personal experience to realize that you go to the doctor and they're going to sell you stuff because they get to go on a vacation, or they get to get extra money if they are able to have you take their medicine and stuff like that. And then when I learned that, I realized that these people are the ones who are supposed to be there for your health, to build you up and to create good health and to help you when you have a wound, and you cannot trust them. And I'm not saying everybody is like that, but I'm saying the culture of the health is not a culture of health. It's a culture of money, and it's a culture of money. And there you go. And so taking your health into your own hands is going to be much more beneficial. Yes, you might have to do some research. Yes, you might have to get off of the couch. And yes, you might have to make a decision that you can do it. Because life is much better. Like I used to be 220 pounds and I could not hardly walk. Everything was hurting and I was in a horrible condition, horrible shape. And I was like, oh my God, this is me. And am I really going to live my life this way? This sucks. Okay, so what do? Well, then you get your bicycle or you go for a walk or you do something, you start somewhere. I started with 1 mile on the bicycle and then I had to go home and I had to take a nap because I was wiped out, I couldn't handle it. And I did that for a long time, 1 mile on the bicycle, home, took a nap, and then again and again. And I did that for like, I think maybe 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years, 2.5 years. So by the end of the 2.5 years, I was able to do 32 miles with a little extra energy, 5-hour energy inputs. But still, I was able to do 32 miles on my bicycle and without taking a nap. Whether the without taking a nap was because the 5-hour energy drink could be, but it was a huge improvement. And so whatever you got to do, like start today. And when I started, it was horrible. Like it was horrible and I cried and I was like a big baby and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And I was whining and complaining the whole way. But I did it anyway, and sometimes I even cried when I was out there trying to bicycle on that stupid little bike that I had because I couldn't afford another one. And it was horrible, but it was so worth it. Like now, I'm so glad that I did it. Because every time you're going to start something new from wherever you're at, it's always going to be a little bit painful, especially in the beginning. But for your body, for your duration here on planet Earth, it's going to be worth it. And you're going to be able to balance it. As of the soul, the Queen of Cups, empathic, loyal, loving. If you develop these qualities within yourself to be the truth, like you actually do feel empathy when you talk to people and you understand, you actually are loyal to people and you do hold their secrets. If they tell you something, you hold their secrets, or you don't talk about them behind their back, or you treat people the way that you would like to be treated, with respect and loyalty and someone with trust. And then if you do those things, you're going to nourish the soul. And over time, the soul grows bigger and bigger, and it might even grow so big that it overtakes. Now your intuition can work more closely with your soul, so that what you really want, instead of latching onto what is in our brains, in our head. I mean, I love that we can think and all that, and I hate that we can think and all that too, because I think maybe we're creating a lot of suffering for ourselves with our minds. Well, so here we have someone who is maybe a little bit reluctant to change their perspective. Very caring, very charismatic, very caring, very loving person, which is great. And then with that love and care that you have for other people, the emotional, family-oriented, you're going to be a mother, you're going to be a caretaker, you always take care of everybody, you're very kind, you're very loyal, you always stand up for people, you always go the extra mile, and you always do the extra work. And that's beautiful. And that's a part of your personality and who you are. And then there are certain aspects that maybe sometimes it can wean over into people pleasing. When you go into people pleasing, now you get a side effect from the people pleasing. The side effect is that you're going to be resentful to yourself. And you're going to cause resentment to yourself because, or to them, because they make you do that and you don't really want to do it, but you don't know how to say no, so you're going to keep doing it because they're asking you and they should know better, they shouldn't ask you. So now you're going to feel all resentful. And instead of going that route, it's better to learn to change the perspective. You are allowed to set your boundaries wherever you need to set your boundaries, and you can be the nicest, the kindest, the most beautiful soul behind your boundaries. And everybody tried to cross those boundaries. Now you can be a badass biatch, and you can step up and you can step back, and you can have people step back. So you can take charge of your situation within your boundaries and have that work for you. So you create your own safe space. If you are single, in regards to love, self-indulgence, self-worth and value, time to heal, shadow work and self-appreciation. So if you are single, now is the perfect time. There has never been a time that is better for you to do some internal research. And why I say internal research, because most of us are not even used to like hearing about the inside, or like, let alone like trying to find our inside voice or whatever, or our inside, what's going on when I close my eyes and I'm not like out there in the world. Like when I'm on my inside, what is going on? How do I feel? What's going on in my mind? How does my body feel? How's my emotions? What kind of mood am I in? All that stuff. Single, do the work. Put yourself together in the strength. Like if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to know how to set boundaries. Otherwise, you're going to hate the other person after a while, because they're going to step over your boundaries. They didn't know you had the boundaries. So now they're going to step over it all the time, because you maybe not be emotionally mature enough to talk about it. So it's practice these things when you are on your own. Like practice those things, to talk about these things, to be about these things. Walking away from those things that do not serve you. So if you are single, now is the time to value your self-worth, and it's a time to heal. Do the shadow work. Like, do you have why are you single? Like, is it because you chose to be single because you like the independence, you want to be by yourself, you don't want to do whatever? It can be any kind of reason that is good for you. Or is it because you feel like you're not worthy of the love, or you don't know how to let other people in? You don't know how to allow them to come in and love parts of yourself that you don't like, and all that stuff. And so walking away from not only people, but walking away from the old way of thinking about things. So you have the hangman, and then the change perspective, the reluctancy to change your perspective. And so being more willing to open up in your mind, being more willing to see things from a new perspective, walking away from the old way of thinking about things, so that you can really embark on a new journey. Ace of Wands, a passion and new idea. So stay single. Stay single until the spirit comes in and gives you this great new ventures. It's going to be success and good luck and creative spark. While you are single, you are not going to be distracted so much from all the other people. I'm taking way too long here. Okay. So you're not going to be as distracted by the other people. So you're going to have time to develop your ideas, and you're going to have time to let it brew in your head, so that you can get your ideas off the ground. And so the Page of Swords, curiosity is, so leave those fears of not being good enough, and the fears of not having what you need for the relationship, or leave those fears, the self-doubt and all that stuff. Leave it behind, so that you can open up for this new spark, a creative spark, yes, and feel alive again, yeah, more in tune again. And the curiosity, being curious, being having the intelligence, like the swords is back in the mind again. So now we're up in the head again, and then being smart about it. If it's complicated, in love. Love, complicated. Date. Get back out there, meeting someone new, setting a date online. So if it is very complicated, maybe it's time to just uncomplicate it and turn it off. Sometimes that can be a good decision. Sometimes that is what you need to do, and that's okay too. Walking away from the things that we don't need in our life. If it's too complicated, maybe it's too complicated for a reason, because there are just too many complications. Maybe you don't want to deal with it. The World, ending the cycle, karmic lessons, conclusion. Okay, it's too complicated. I don't want to deal with all this. It's this is it. I'm going to move on from it. I'm going to complete this cycle. I'm going to uncomplicate it and cut it off. Or it's going to have to move in a certain direction. Otherwise, you're going to stay in a complicated situation, which is not probably going to lead. So what you think is going to do. So this complicated situation, oh, the hope. Oh my gosh, I have a complicated situation in my head too. And so the reason why I stayed in the complicated situation, oh my gosh, the hope, maybe this is it. This could be the happy ever after. And this could be, oh my gosh, we'd be so happy together. We'd be so bringing each other so much joy and peace and love and all that caring and all that stuff. Well, if it doesn't happen in the real life here, then it's not true. It's what you make up in your mind. And so the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, closing the cycle, not hoping, not doing all this stuff anymore, just leaving it where it's at. It wasn't what you thought it was, so just let it go. And in a committed relationship, karmic relationship, sometimes our committed relationships are not really love connections. They're more like lessons. Karmic relationship. The karmic relationships, they're going to bring up resentments. They're going to bring out triggers in you. They're going to change your perception. So your hangman situation here. Turmoil, fleeting, intensity, and letting go. Karmic relationships, they often like, oh, they shower you with stuff. Now you feel so good, and then it disappears, and you feel so empty, and then, oh, it makes you feel so good, and then, oh, it makes me feel so empty, and it makes you feel so good, and then it makes you feel so empty, and then you, the times that, oh, it makes me feel so good. So this, I am just not worthy of the full capacity of love, so I'm going to take those little breadcrumbs. So every time it's like, oh, it's so good, I'll take that, and that's all that I feel like I deserve. So I'm going to keep that, and then every time I feel empty, I'm not going to really worry about it until you do, until you change your perspective, until you take charge of your situation and you find the balance, because that's imbalanced. Even in committed relationships, it can be imbalanced like that, and people can walk, and Seven of Swords. Perfect for my situation. It's perfect. Perfect for my situation to know this. Seven of Swords showing up. Someone being dishonest with who they are. Not being honest with how they feel. Not being honest with what's really going on in their mind. What's really going on in their body. In their emotions. Lack of conscience. They don't really care because they don't come from the heart. They're going to bring up, so committed relationship, you can commit to people who are karmic for you, and the karmic relationships can go on for years until you finally get a divorce, and you're like, wow, that was some intense years with this person, and let me see if it was a lesson or if it was a blessing. And usually it's both. If it's a lesson, that's a blessing too. But sometimes we need to just know when to cut, when to say enough is enough. I don't want to be in this breadcrumbing. I don't want to be in this emptiness. And every time, if I rather notice when it's empty, then there's not going to be any more cards here because it's always empty. And that's what they give. And if the committed relationship is something that is feeling like you're lonely, even if you're in a relationship with someone else, then maybe it is time to change a new perspective. Because creativity, being creative, speaking your mind, speaking what's on your mind, speaking what's on your mind, taking yourself seriously and respecting how you feel. And this is gold. So you don't need anyone else to fix you. You don't need anyone else to fix you. And I know this because this girl with the cup, she says so. This is the message that is coming out. You can be expressive. You can say what you need to say. You can be everything that you need to be on your own. Your self-worth and your value, and taking the time out to really, really dig in to your dang self and make sure that you are a place of unconditional love and boundaries for yourself, so that you can stand firm in your beliefs, in who you are, behind your boundaries, and you can allow the people to come in. There's no time for breadcrumbing. There's no time for just woozing around, being all lying and stealing and cheating. There are people out there who are honest and truthful and loyal and respectful and all that good stuff. And you want to share your love and your passion and your joy and your gifts with them instead of someone who is just out there to take or maybe even just sway you off your purpose and your path. Nine of Swords, restlessness, fear, nightmares, worry, not taking action, feeling helpless, feeling stuck. Any kind of action or decision that you do make and take is going to help you out of this situation. So just do whatever you need to do. Just do something. Just do something. And you don't need anyone else to fix you. You can close your eyes, breathe, and just go on that inner journey. Inner journey. That's where it's at. Esther and Abraham Hicks says, life is not about tomorrow. It is about right now. Right now, this point in time, right here, right now. Life is about how you are currently molding the energy. Close your eyes. How do you feel? How you feel and what you think, this is how you're molding the energy. The more you can alter how you feel and how you think, the more you're going to change your reality out there. So the beautiful light in me, it honors, respects, and loves the same beautiful light in you. Until next time, namaste.